So this week I looked at some Wisconsin news, and I found this story about how the state senate meeting at the state capitol in Madison passed a bill on March 18. They legalized online sports betting, along with another bill dealing with PFAS chemical pollutions, but focusing on the sports betting side of the bill. This bill will allow people to place bets directly from their phones anywhere in Wisconsin, as long as it goes through servers on tribal lands. Some supporters say that this is a good thing because people are already placing bets in their phone anyway, so this will regulate it and support local tribal communities. But some other people were worried because this make gambling, of course, way more easier. And one argument that they were using is that this basically puts a casino in your pocket, which of course increases the addiction percentage along with some increase in the risk behaviors of past gamblers. At the same time, of course, lawmakers were also dealing with the PFAS pollutions, which shows that they are trying to balance economic benefits with some public health issues. But now connecting this story to the book that we read in class, Notch, I feel like there's a really good example of the automatic versus reflective thinking. Because if betting is on your phone, people will be more likely to make this quick and impulsive decision of betting instead of really thinking through the risk. And I feel like it also relates to the status quo bias because before the bill was passed, you actually needed to go somewhere like a casino to gamble, which of course takes some kind of effort. But now that the bill was passed, it removes that barrier, making it much easier to use stick to the easy option of betting in your phone. I feel like there's also some availability bias because if you see more betting apps and more ads about gambling, people will see gambling as a more normal and less risky thing than it actually is. So even though nobody's being forced to gamble, it kind of makes it a lot harder not to.
I'm Hayden Divorce, and the local issue I'll be talking about is the Cesar Chavez statue in Milwaukee being taken down amid allegations. The statue of Cesar Chavez that had been standing in Milwaukee for a decade was taken down in the middle of sexual assault allegations from New York Times investigation. The person who owns the statue, Villarreal, told Milwaukee Journal Sentinel the allegations were too big to ignore. The family notified the city that they would be removing the statue, and there was no protest. Alderwoman Jocasta Zamaripa said in a news release that she would take part in discussions to determine whether South Cesar E. Chavez Drive would continue to bear his name. Chavez, who had a profound effect on farm workers' union and labor wage protests in the 60s, was now being questioned, hero or a villain? Juan Miguel Martinez, a county supervisor and labor organizer, posted a statement to his Facebook calling for South Cesar E. Chavez Drive to be renamed Dolores Huerta Way. Huerta, who has come forward as a victim, is a co-founder of the National Farm Workers Association. A quote I have from this: Cesar Chavez's contributions to the farm worker movement and Latino civil rights are a matter of historical record. So this is a quote from the alderwoman stated previously. And my take on this is that I believe factually he successfully led movements to better the United States. Though I am curious as to why people waited so long after Chavez died to bring this up, many years before the structures would have been built. And like in the book Nudge, we learned that people tend to follow the herd. Using this, I wonder if other people will come forward about their experiences with people we dignify as leaders or revolutionaries. When they rename the streets and or memorialize other people, we should now use this as an example to do prior research to make sure that they are who we think they are. All in all, I think that this topic is very serious and should be investigated further before any major decisions should be made.
I'm Andrew Steele, and I'll be talking about the national current event, which would be the rising gas prices. Gas prices within March 2026 in the United States are closely linked to the ongoing conflict between the U.S. and Iran, largely because of its impact on global oil supply. Much of the world's oil passes through the Strait of Hormuz, a key shipping route near Iran, and tensions or military actions in the region can disrupt or threaten that flow. As a result, oil prices increase on the global market, which then raises the cost of gasoline for consumers. Since the conflict escalated, U.S. gas prices have jumped significantly by dozens of cents per gallon in a short time, reflecting how sensitive energy markets are to geopolitical instability. Additionally, fears of prolonged fighting or further supply disruptions have pushed oil prices even higher, which contributes to inflation and higher transportation costs across the economy. Overall, the conflict with Iran is a major factor driving recent increases in gas prices, as uncertainty and reduced oil availability makes fuel more expensive for Americans. My sources are Forbes.com, MorganStanley.com, and TheWashingtonPost.com.
This is Hayden Divorce, and I'll be talking about the global issue, of which is Trump says that ICE agents will assist airport security as the Homeland Security shutdown continues. I received this article from BBC News. U.S. President Donald Trump posted on social media that ICE agents will go to airports on Monday, while border czar Tom Homan told CNN that his team was working out the details of the plan. The union that represents the TSA officers criticized the move. Travelers at certain airports are still experiencing very long wait times. Trump states that he wants ICE agents to help people who have stayed and will get paid what they're owed and some. ICE agents will not be directly screening people. Instead, they will do tasks that free up TSA agents who can do what they're trained to. Statements have been taken from the House Minority Leader stating his feelings that the American people do not need this. Quote, staff deserve to be paid, not replaced by untrained armed agents. Everett Kelly, the president of the AFGE, states that these untrained individuals do not need to be there and says we should be focusing on getting this deal done. As of that, they could not reach an agreement last Friday on funding. The American people are ready to be done with this and get back to safe travels. Some questions I have are, what part of the deal is being unagreed upon? And will it take more outcry from the Americans or a terror attack for them to finally get it done? My view on this article is that I believe in a situation like this, you may just have to pay more money to get it done. That way, we can have the safety and security we deserve. We should pay them what they deserve and more for their troubles, so that the American people can go back to being safe. I traveled through O'Hare twice last week. Both times I had to wait about 10 minutes. So I'm curious which airports have the worst times and why. I also believe that ICE agents should be there doing minor tests to aid the people. I know that what they're doing is controversial. Until the deal gets done, I believe this is the right thing. I believe that TSA agents are currently working should get paid more, and I believe that employees that have been out of work should get their jobs back without question and a raise to make up for the damages done to their family. In class, we learned that things almost always are getting better than we think, and sharks kill few. The deal to get funding will get done and will be better than it was before. I also believe that ICE agents have something controversial happen, but behind the scenes, we'll be getting more good done than not.